Hello everybody and welcome to Preparedness 101. In the previous videos we discussed making a plan, food and water storage, shelter, and medical. I will place a link to a playlist of these videos in case you missed them. Today we will discuss communications, and by following these suggestions you will be ready should a disaster hit you and your family. Communications are vital during a disaster, and having current information about what has happened is absolutely necessary so that you can make the best decisions to protect you and your loved ones. It's a beautiful sunny afternoon. You and your family are preparing to attend a cookout with some friends. The power suddenly goes out. That is odd, you think, as there have been no predictions of any storms for your area, and the power rarely goes out. Is it just a local issue, or has something else happened? How will you find out? You check your cell phone and you have no service. And of course the Wi-Fi doesn't work without any electricity. What is your next plan of action? With emergency communications planning, you will hear the term PACE used a lot. PACE stands for primary, alternate, contingency, and emergency. In the example I just used, you checked what is probably everyone's primary, your cell phone. What is your alternate? If your alternate is not working, then what is your contingency? If that fails, what is your emergency method to get information? Let's talk about some items and methods that you can use to help keep you informed during a disaster and also give you the ability to contact others. Everyone has a cell phone these days. They have become the primary means of communications, either by call, text, or social media messaging apps. One thing I hope you understand is that if you cannot make a call during a disaster, you may still be able to send and receive text messages. Many people used text messaging during 9/11 in New York because all phone circuits were busy. If you have Wi-Fi working, you can use one of the social media apps, or may be able to make a call if you have Wi-Fi calling on your cell phone. Do you have emergency alerts activated on your cell phone? You may receive an emergency alert before a natural disaster strikes, giving you advance notice to be ready. I know many people no longer have a landline telephone in their homes anymore, and many homes and businesses are using voice over internet to make and receive phone calls. If you have a landline phone in your home, do you still have one of the corded phones that plugs into the wall jack? These phones will still work without electricity, unlike your cordless phone. You can still find them, and they are relatively cheap. A landline phone could serve as your alternate means of communications. Do you have a battery-powered AM/FM radio? You can find them fairly cheap, and some models have shortwave and weather included. Many of them have a crank that you can wind to charge them, as well as a small solar panel. Many radio stations have backup generators so that they can continue to broadcast if there's no electricity, though their output power may be greatly reduced. Do you have a battery-powered weather radio that can give you an alert if severe weather is occurring in your area? During the floods that hit eastern Kentucky, most people went to bed that night knowing that we were supposed to get heavy rain, but nobody expected the large amount of rain that fell in a very short time. Small streams that rarely flood turned into raging rivers. Many people lost everything they owned, and 43 people died. It is possible that if they had a weather radio, they may have received an alert in time for them to evacuate to a safer place. Additionally, the government may use the National Weather Broadcast System to give out information during a natural disaster. Many preppers buy handheld radios, or walkie-talkies as most people call them. They come in different varieties such as FRS, GMRS, MURS, and amateur radio. FRS stands for Family Radio Service, and they are the small bubble pack radios that you see in big box stores. They do not require any type of license. You will see on the packaging, however, that they can have a range of up to 25 miles, but that is a huge exaggeration. You can expect reliable communications in what we call line of sight, meaning you are in open country with no obstructions, and even then I would not expect a range of more than 1/2 to 1 mile. GMRS stands for General Mobile Radio Service, and they have better range due to the fact that you can change the antenna and they have more power. Many businesses use these, and they do require a license. It only costs $35, is good for 10 years, and covers your entire family. MERS radios are primarily used for watercraft, but they will work on land. Many preppers use handheld radios that are part of amateur radio, or ham radio as most people call it. Anyone can listen to these radios, but to legally transmit on them, you are required to have at least a technician class license. The license is easy to get, as the test is not that difficult if you put in the time to study. Once you have your license, you can gain valuable experience in how to operate these radios, along with how to improve their capabilities by improving the antennas. A popular radio among preppers is the Baofeng UV5R. These are cheap Chinese radios but do work well, and are best programmed using the free software called Chirp. You can program these radios to receive police, fire, and emergency medical services in many areas, unless they have changed over to digital radios and are using encryption. You can find the radio frequencies that are used in your area on the radio reference website. Be sure to comply with all laws where you live, as some areas will have restrictions on having a portable scanner capable of monitoring police radio traffic. Never transmit on any frequency that you are not authorized to use. I have mine programmed to use as a scanner so that I can monitor police, fire, and emergency medical services in my area, as well as the National Weather Service. Another good thing about these radios is they will also receive FM radio broadcasts. CB radios are still readily available, but are not used as much as they used to be. It still may be a good idea to have one for emergency communications. Now let's review the PACE concept, since we have discussed several means of communication. Your primary will probably be your cell phone. Your alternate may be a landline phone. Your contingency may be a handheld radio or battery-powered AM/FM radio. Your emergency may be to walk next door and talk to a neighbor or friend. Develop your communication plan according to your needs and what works best for you. I really appreciate you watching. If you found this helpful, please hit the like button and let me know. Leave your comments of what works well for you and anything you think I have missed, so we can all learn together. Please share this video if you think it will help someone. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. In the next part of this video series, we will discuss security. Thank you again for watching, and remember, prepare today for what may happen tomorrow. And I will see you on the next video.